Welcome back for today's college basketball pick video play for November 27th, 2019. And this one talking about this neutral site contest between the Ole Miss Rebels and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Going to give our lean on where we see the better value against the spread. Penn State coming in as about 2-point favorites. This one is going to be played at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So Penn State doesn't have to travel quite as far as Ole Miss. So in terms of the fan representation in the crowd, Penn State will probably have a little bit more. So Ole Miss, they're coming into this one at 4-1 overall. They opened up the season with 4 straight home victories against mid-major opponents, all by double figures, taking down the likes of Arkansas State, Norfolk State, Western Michigan, as well as Seattle. In their last outing, the Rebels coming up short in a very competitive loss at the Memphis Tigers. That's a ranked Memphis squad, but to be fair, it's a Memphis team that isn't playing at full strength without Wiseman on the court, him serving his suspension, so that is something to keep in mind. The Rebels were able to take advantage of that fact and keep things really competitive, losing in the end by a final of 86-87, a game that was really anyone's to have there with that 1-point margin of defeat for the Rebels. In terms of what we've seen from Ole Miss this year, they've played more so off of their defense. They're 31st in the nation in total team defense compared to 137th in scoring. And their opposition here, the Penn State Nittany Lions, they've gotten off to a really nice 5-0 start. And Penn State's actually been a little bit better than what we were expecting them to be coming into the season. And 4-1 against the spread, certainly performing a bit better on a consistent basis than what Vegas has pegged Penn State to be at. And one victory that really stands out for us was Penn State. They went on the road against a Big East opponent, Georgetown, and it was a convincing result for the Nittany Lions, getting past the Hoyas by a final of 81-66. And those are the kind of wins during non-conference play that can really help a team if they're going to try to make a run at the NCAA tournament. And this is another one of those games potentially for Penn State against a solid opponent from a power conference, an SEC foe. They already have a true road win against a Big East opponent. It would be great for them to pick up a neutral site victory over an SEC opponent. Now, Penn State in their last outing, not quite as impressive on the offensive side of the ball as what we had been seeing from them. Through their first 4 games, Penn State put up 84, 91, 81, and 98 points respectively. A little bit slower in their last outing, but still getting past a quality Yale opponent by a final of 58-56. And the Nittany Lions, 38th in the nation in scoring average, 53rd in total team defense. Some really impressive numbers on both ends of the court. So based on what we've been seeing from both of these teams, it's a reasonable spread to have Penn State currently sitting as about 2-point favorites. They've done a pretty good job of outperforming what Vegas has set for them in the contest that they've had thus far with that 4-1 mark against the spread, including that really nice 15-point win on the road at Georgetown. Based on what we've been seeing from these two teams, we have Penn State a little bit higher on the tier than Ole Miss, and the fact that they don't have to travel quite as far and they should have a bit more fan representation at Barclays Center. We're going to go ahead side with the Big Ten, taking Penn State to cover the 2-point spread as the better bet. If you agree, give the video a thumbs up. Disagree, give it a thumbs down. And you can check out all of our college basketball picks for today's action, including our daily free play, which is a pick against the spread in the North Carolina versus Alabama game. You can check all those out over at stumpthespread.com, linked down in the video description.